Bless the Lord, brothers and sisters. So happy to be back in again. I thank God for you and you tuning in. Listen, I know it's been quite a while since I made a video, but guess what? I just can't sleep. And usually when I can't sleep, God is talking to me and he's just downloading some information. This particular subject I want to talk to you today about, because I think that probably a lot of people are feeling the same way, whether you are single or married or in a relationship, whatever the case is, even in when it relates to the political arena, a lot of people, listen, are feeling like they just might have the short end of the stick. You know? You ever been in a relationship, brothers and sisters, where you put your all into it? You thought that everything that you did would make this thing float and work and thrive and be alive and be all right. But for some way, shape, or form, the script has been flipped. Just like in a political arena, you put your vote in there. You think that, this president is going to do right by you and the things that you stand by and the things that you stand for. And then all of a sudden you find that, hey, wait a minute, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I expected. This is not what I anticipated, or even predicted. What the heck is going on? Did I get duped, Did I get the short end of the stick? Did I get bamboozled? Wait a minute. What is really going on? And I think that in this climate today, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're not in a relationship, this video, hear me, may be just what you needed to hear in terms of getting some sort of insight, some sort of clarity, so that you can lick your wounds and begin again what? Wiser. Brothers and sisters, we're living in a society that are emotionally driven. I'm going to say it again. I said, we are living in a society that are emotionally driven. And when you are emotionally driven, more so driven by your emotions, right? Just like the wave, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Jesus Christ had a way of when he was in the water with Peter, and Peter fell and things of that nature, and he got a little distracted, right? You know the story. How is Jesus Christ's mood and flow, right? He was even keeled. Whether the storm came, he was chill, he was confident, right? He was relaxed. He was not perplexed. He was not what's going on or anything. He was just in his zone of tranquility and peace as if it never even happened. And he said, "Come on, Peter, come on out. Trust me, it's going to be okay. You're good. I'm good. We're good." But no, Peter just took a little bit of what he said. And then once he got distracted, once the enemy came in with a bit of distraction, his eyes was not what? Fixed on Christ. And when your eyes and your disposition in your life is not what? Fixed on the master, you are going to get what? Sidetracked. You may get sidetracked by a dress. You may get sidetracked by drugs. You may get sidetracked by, fame or fortune or somebody else's stuff. You may be sidetracked, hear me, by your own ego. Wow. In your own pride. You may get so sidetracked in your own thinking that you're trying to impress somebody and you're digging your own ditch. Brothers and sisters, this video is just not for the faint of heart. So if you're emotionally driven, if I say something that emotionally steps on your toes, this is just what the doctor ordered. I said, this is just what you need. A lot of you brothers and sisters out here, you want the medicine with all the sugar in it. In fact, let me give you the prime example. I had recently, I take iron pills, right? Because sometimes I'm a vegetarian. I know you didn't know that. I'm a recent vegetarian. Nothing, that I've been a vegetarian for years and years, but I just don't eat meat anymore, right? And I love it. I feel better. Inflammation is gone. Like I said, I'm about to be 52 next month. I got to be in tip-top shape. But anyway, not saying that meat is bad. Not saying that protein is bad. I'm not a weirdo. You eat your meat, you be healthy, you exercise and get your sleep and all that good stuff. Stay hydrated and all that great stuff. More power to you, right? I still cook for my family, when they eat meat and steaks and all that good stuff, but it's just out of my system now, right? So anyway, the long story short of it is I take iron pills, right, for energy and such and keep my blood right. But I noticed that the gummies that I took the iron pills on, they were submerged. Hear me, I mean it. They were submerged in sugar. I'm like, man, what is all of this sugar on these iron pills? Just give me the iron pills. I don't want the sugar. So what I did was I took the water and I rinsed all the sugar off, right? And then I ate the iron pill. I'm going somewhere. I'm getting deep with this. So I take the gummy and I take the iron pill, right? And I notice that when I take the iron pill gummy, it tastes horrendous, disgusting, terrible, right? Same old iron pill, but it was covered initially with a whole lot of sugar. And I think a lot of people, hear me, want the sugar when you talk about things that are tough and may step on your toes, may rub you the wrong way. You want the sugar version. You want to be submerged and covered in sugar. You want it submerged and covered in sugar. I'm not going to give you the sugar version. I'm going to rinse this off and I'm going to give you, the non-sugar version, the sugar-free. Are you ready for the sugar-free version, brothers and sisters? Oh, we're going to get deep. The question is, are you ready for the sugar-free version? Oh, man. All right, all right. Since you said yes, since you said you can take it, I'm going to give you the sugar-free version. All right, all right, all right, all right. So, brothers and sisters, this might hurt your feelings just a little bit, but this is the reason why. Three reasons that I was thinking about. I was just laying in bed and I was like, why do people cheat? Why do people get the opportunity, right, to take advantage of people? Now, whether it even be, and I was thinking about it even in a political arena, okay? So it's just not relationships. Listen, it's just not relationships. So whether you got dumped or going through or whatever the case is, this is three key reasons, hear me, why things may just not be working out. Now, hear me clearly before I get started on this subject. Hear me. This is what I believe in my heart. This is what I believe in my mind. This is what I know because I had been in relationships where I was cheating. Yeah, on the person that I was with. Not in a marital situation. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in a regular years ago when I was single. Okay. I was dumped basically, and I dumped somebody else. I was the dumpy and I was the dumper. Either way, I was on both sides of the fence, so to speak. So I have experience as to why people do what they do and how they get away with what they get away with. Listen, I'm just trying to be real. And I told you, I'm giving you the real, raw, and uncut. You ready? Okay. So let's just rewind the tape a little bit and then I'm going to bring it on back. Now, years ago, right? When I was young, single, fit, and had the world in my oyster, so to speak, right? You know, I was in a relationship. Now, mind you, I believe in, being in a monogamous relationship generally. I'm not one to jump and hump and, excuse my, well, I just got to be real. I just wanted to be with the person that I was with. But at the time, I felt that he wasn't really showing me any, emotional attention and things of that nature. I love the guy, but it got to the point where, I believed that he loved his job more than me and he didn't water the relationship and I felt neglected and things of that nature. And guess what? Something else came around, right? So I basically cheated on him with the new guy on the block, so to speak. And the new guy on the block, I just so happened to be in a relationship with kind of both of them at the same time. It was crazy. So it got to a point where I had to make a choice. Either I'm with the new guy or I'm with the old guy. I was with the old guy about 2 years and then this new guy came along and then I was kind of more so into him more. I wanted to be with him more. So I made the decision and I went with the new guy and I dumped the old guy. Now, the old guy, he was all right. I mean, he knew the family, he was somebody that everybody knew and whatever. He was comfortable and whatever. But he wasn't the thrill. He wasn't the new kid on the block. He didn't have what I was looking. He wasn't the next level. So I just got rid of him, basically. I dumped him, right? So I got with this new guy. That relationship, ironically, lasted 2 years, right? So it lasted 2 years, but it got to a point where then I was getting emotionally attached to him to the point where I was playing that same role with that the other guy was playing on me. I was kind of getting emotionally attached to this new guy to the point where he was my world, he was my everything, da 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 da. And brothers and sisters, this is the problem. Once you have the ideology that this person or this political person or this relationship that you're in is your world, your all in all, your ace boon coon, your all your eggs in a basket. Once you have that much faith in that person like that, it's going to crumble. Please believe it. I'm going to say it again. This is the sugar-free version. Once you are emotionally, mentally, spiritually, soul tie attached to something to the point where God is not even in the equation, it is going, hear me, to subsequently crumble. Like crumble cookies, huh? Crumble, like demolish the building, crumble down, ashes. Yeah, you know how things crumble down? That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be decimated and demolished. That relationship. Why? Why is it not going to stand the test of time? The reason why it's not going to stand the test of time, okay? I don't care if you do voodoo or weirdo stuff or whatever the case is to try to solidify that relationship. And a lot of people, hear me clearly, I gotta say it, because they be doing some weird stuff, love potions and all of that stuff. And I'm not saying that doesn't work. I'm saying that there's consequences to that, and you're digging a even deeper dishes generationally, how that can have a generational impact on you. There's a lot of women and men out there that were dabbling in witchcraft and sorcery just to keep somebody around. Hear me, I may be talking to somebody who are contemplating doing some stuff like that. There are women out there, hear me, that get so desperate on having a man that go out there and do witchcraft and sorcery just to keep him. I mean, y'all better check y'all spaghetti twice. Yeah, if listen, she making spaghetti a little bit too often, I'll leave it at that. All I'm saying is women are weird. They are weird when it comes to love spells and things of that nature. And some men are weird when it comes to love spells and stuff like that. Men and women or people in a political region. It doesn't matter. When people want what they want and they're operating in witchcraft and sorcery and divination and crazy crap, they working with the devil. They'll do what they got to do, right? To get what they want. But the caveat to that, the problem with doing it the devil's way is it's not only going to affect you and could kill you and take you out after a while. It's going to kill your people who you love, friends or family. There's probably people out there that's like, consequences, as long as I'm rich. You remember that Daffy Duck? What he said, consequences, as long as I'm rich. He had all of this on there. And y'all remember that episode, that cartoon. He didn't care. He wanted what he wanted, right? And look at his outcome. So what I'm saying is don't do it that route, because you could definitely have you signing a ticket to hell when you do it the devil's way, right? So I'm gonna get back on track. So I was with this guy and the new guy, right? I was with the new guy and I got emotionally attached. I got in too deep, and he basically dumped me. But he didn't dump me. It's like I kind of knew the relationship is over, so I kind of ended it. I kind of ended it. It went really, really left. It went really, really left to the point where I knew that he was falling out of love with me. So I kind of took exit stage left and just ended the relationship. But I knew that emotionally he just wasn't feeling me no more, and that's okay. Listen. There's bigger fish in the sea on both sides, right? In other words, there may have been people who he was attracted to, right? More than me. Or he was just tired of being in a relationship. Whatever the case is, it was over and it ran its course, right? And you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with the fact of sometimes it's time to go. It's time to exit, cut and end the scene. So, what I'm saying is that you got to feel both sides, brothers and sisters. You got to understand how it feels on both sides. Now, I'm not saying go out there and cheat. I'm not saying, you should learn that way, but I'm just saying, even if it's from afar, even if it's you see other people's relationship and you say, wow, I may not want that for me particularly, but I've learned just by viewing that what I like and I don't like, right? What I want and I don't want, right? So let's get back on track as to why people cheat or find themselves in those relationships, whether it be a political arena, like I said, or just a relationship reason. So 3 key reasons that I was thinking about as to why people cheat or why people find themselves just not into you is just that it. That's number 1. They're just not into you. And you got to be okay with that, right? We the people, and I'll do it in the political arena and I'll do it in the relationship arena. So in politics, yes, I did say politics. In politics, they acted initially like they're for the people, right? Because they got to get the votes. They got to get the, confidence, you got to, make it seem like, you really believe the person. So they do the whole act, right? So you believe it, right? But honestly, they're just not into the people like they thought, right? They're just not into you, right? And you got to be okay with that. You got to have the rationalization to say, wow, they really don't care about me and my family. They rather care about their family and what they want. Okay? So, same thing with relationships. I already did it in the political arena that they're not for the people like they assume to be. They're for them and their interests, right? So, what about in relationships, right? Relationships, the same thing. This person, right, that you loved and wanted to be with, they're really just not into you. You thought that they were into you, but they're really just not into you. That's why they cheat. They're just not into you. Okay. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person or this or that. They're just not into you. Right? Because when a man loves a woman and when a woman loves a man, right? She's going to stand the test of time no matter what. You ever see a woman that really she'll take it all. She'll listen, she'll eat the the scraps. She'll just be there for that man. She'll give her all for that man when she really loves him, right? Same thing with the man. When the man really loves a woman, what? He'll build a mountain. Y'all saw that movie. What was it called? Love, the Notebook. When he built that house for that woman, he loved that woman. You understand me? He grew a beard, whatever it took. When a real man loves a woman, he gonna do what he gotta do to get that woman, right? So sometimes they may not just be into you, right? They may be into something else. Why? Okay, so number 2. So number 1, they just may not be into you. Just the same thing with the politics, same thing with the relationship. They may not just be into you, right? The second reason why people cheat, or you may get the short end of the stick, hear me clearly. I'm spitting some knowledge and some free game. No, some insight, right? The second reason, okay, is because they have access. Oh man, they got access. Access. What's access, Amanda? Access deals with anything dealing with money, means, and motivation, right? Money, means, and motivation. So you got money, you got access to go to this place, You politically, you got the means, you got the money, you got the access. Listen, think of the presidents. They got the money, the means, the access. You know what I mean? Everything's in their oyster. They got it at their fingertips. They press a button, they want this, they got the access. Same thing with some relationships. I mean, there's some men or women that financially or, socially or whatever the case is, just may have access to people and things and networks that you may not, have. And they do. Whether it be time, they got access to go here and here. They're not cooped up in the house. They just got access. So you may be in a relationship with a person that just may have access to different things. They're social, they go to this, they meet people, whatever the case is, they got access, right? And when you got access to things, right? You see people, you see things you may not want what you got at home or whatever, or what the people are, you know what I mean, giving you. You may say, okay, in a political arena, the people really wanted this, but I want this because I got access to this, and this. So I'm gonna give them a little bit of crumbs, but I'm not giving them everything because I got access to do this. So, hey, it is what it is. Same thing with a relationship. My girlfriend or my boyfriend or whatever the case is may want this, but guess what? This chick or this man is showing me this or this, and I got access. So the third thing, okay, so we got the first thing, they're not just into you. Second thing, access. The third thing is more spiritual, though. Yeah. When people cheat or when people just say, nah, I'm out, sometimes, though, it has to do on a spiritual level of what they're spiritually attracted to, right? And you say spiritually attracted, what are you talking about? Well, on a demonic level, when a person is possessed, when a person is having a lot of demonic operations in their members, strongholds, when a lot of people are going through a lot of things that are not aligning up with God, when they're not purified, when they're not delivered and set free, when their soul is hijacked, right? When their spirit and mind is literally operating in a demonic level, they're not thinking about things of God. They're thinking selfishly, me, self-gain, what I can get, insatiable. That's when that insatiable appetite comes into play, right? Let me give you a prime example, right? So on a spiritual level, okay, when a person is operating on a demonic level, that has a lot to do with who they are literally serving. Either they're serving God or they're serving the devil, right? And when you are serving the devil is going to make sure, hear me very clearly, that you have all of the components and everything that you need in order to be successful in his camp. So, if that means that you're going to be narcissistic, if that means that you're going to be, a whoremonger, a womanizer, a man eater, whatever the case is, he's going to make sure, Satan is going to make sure that you're operating, hear me, in that type of flow, right? So, if you're not spiritually walking with God, you're spiritually walking with the devil. So that means that you don't care about anything other than self-gain. You don't care, and you don't care about the relationship. All you care about is getting the best end of the stick. You don't care about the other person, right? You care about pleasing flesh. So when you have the ideology that you want what your flesh wants, right? Do you really think that your mind is going to be on that relationship? No. You're going to do everything you can do to schmooze the person, to make them feel, hear me, that you're on their side, but you have an ulterior motive, right? Let me give you a prime example. Case in point, right? You could be having a person that at first they'll love bomb you real good. Oh, I love you. I want to be with you. You're the best thing since sliced bread, right? And you really believe that. You really believe that you have all the goods. You really believe that you have what it takes to keep and maintain this relationship, right? Right? And then all of a sudden, things change. The tide turns. The person is not coming around as much. They're having a lot of excuses, a lot of lies, red flags like crazy. But you just nah, maybe they're just busy, or maybe this or that. You make so many excuses, but deep down inside, you know that this person is not the right one that God picked. But they have savoir faire. They have everything that's luring you in. Sometimes it could be a spiritual situation, right? Where they're literally operating with the devil to the point where they're literally manipulating your mind. It's like they have control over you to the point where you just lose yourself like a dust in a wind. You're not thinking about God more. You're not prayed up. You got you got cracks in your spiritual armor. You just naked out there, vulnerable, right? And this person, in the political arena or just the natural sense, right? You're with this person, you know that God don't want them to be, you know that God doesn't want you and them together, but spiritually you feel like you can't escape. There was a guy that years ago I listened to, and he was with a woman that he thought that was Mrs. Right. And come to find out that the reason why he couldn't escape, hear me very clearly, and he was so in love with her, right? And she was in love with him. But the bottom line is, with her love, she was trying to gain stuff from him, right? And she got her mother involved, hear me, and come to find out, she was taking items, clothing, and things of that nature from him and doing witchcraft. And that witchcraft subsequently led to him almost losing his mind. And if it wasn't for Christ literally taking over, he would have lost it all, right? And he confronted the girl, and sure enough, it was I think it was a shirt that she took somewhere, and they did some witchcraft with it, and it was in the trunk of her car. And he I think he had spiritual guidance, and they said that, hey, there's some girl that's got this and this. They had spiritual discernment, and they said this girl's doing witchcraft on you. That's why you're losing your mind, basically, and you might lose your soul and everything else. And sure enough, he prayed about it, I guess, and got stronger spiritually and confronted the girl. And sure enough, he said, open your trunk. And sure enough, his shirt was in there. And if that shirt would have been in a different location, he would have not only lost his money, not only lost his mind, lost his soul, lost his life and everything else. So he took the shirt out, he burned it and everything else. And then he got a ministry. Listen, this is deep stuff. Look him up, book it up. His name is Kevin L.A. Hewing. I don't usually give shout outs to people like that because, a lot of people say this or that, this pastor, that pastor. This pastor is anointed. He has a dream ministry more so. This man is anointed and appointed. You hear me? His name is Kevin L.A. Hewing, Ewing, I believe. Check out his testimony. It's deep stuff, talking about a girl that he was with that eventually performed witchcraft on him. He had a good job and everything like that. And come to find out, he didn't want to even leave the house. He was at a point where he was just depressed and everything else. And he wasn't walking with God initially. He was walking with God initially, but he kind of fell off. Long story short, just look it up, book it up. But like I said, when people spiritually get involved with the dark side of things, witchcraft and everything else, voodoo, Santeria, whatever the case is, everything of the devil, when they get involved, when you are dating someone that is of the occult, of the devil, low key, or in your face. Sometimes they could be low key, discreet about it, or they could be in your face about it. Whenever you're dealing with that type of individual, okay, your end will be subsequent destruction. So you need to get away from that situation ASAP, okay? Because all they want is to eat you alive, basically. And I'm not talking in a nice sense. They're trying to kill you and literally bleed you dry. So, again, they're just not into you. The second thing, they have access. The third reason why is because they're spiritually gone and they're spiritually not walking with God, and they literally want to take you out in the process, right? That's why they cheat, because they don't care about you. They're looking at you as an agenda, a project, someone that they can manipulate, and someone that they can literally deceive. If they're spiritually not walking with God, do you think that they're going to have time and energy and devotion to you? Brothers and sisters, same thing in the political arena. If you have a politician that is not steadfast, immovable, working with Jesus Christ, then you have something else. I don't care how much they candy coat it. I don't care how many scriptures they say just to make it look like that they're on the right track. The Word of God says you know them by their fruit. Listen, the devil will give you a couple of truths and a whole lot of lies. Listen. If the devil says a couple of things that are true, but mixes it with the whole lot of lies, or even a few lies, it's still a lie. It's still a lie. It's predicated on falsehood, right? So if you put all your eggs in one basket, all your confidence, all your love, all your devotion in lies, how do you think that relationship is going to manifest subsequently? It's going to crumble. This is the bottom line, and I hope that you got something from this video. I'm not going yet. Is that if you don't have your eyes fixed, like Peter should have had, on Christ, you will drown, you will fall, you will crumble. God is a jealous God. God wants your attention. He wants all of you. And once he has all of you, then when you are submitted in him, he's going to make your path straight. He's going to orchestrate the person and bring the person in your life that you need. Sometimes people are driving their own ships and wonder why they're shipwrecked. Oh man, or headed for like the Titanic, headed down, down, down. Is this some sugar-free truth serum for you? A lot of people want the ideal relationship, the ideal president, the ideal this and that. Listen, the bottom line is we are all flesh and blood. Stop worshiping people, I said stop worshiping people. People are going to let you down. People are going to betray you. People are going to use and abuse you if you let them, right? And even if you don't let them, they are who they are because they have access, because they're just not into you, and because they're working with Satan. That's why. Those are the three main components. Oh, yeah. That's why. So when people break your heart, don't get depressed. When people let you down, don't get depressed. Even in the workplace, when your boss tell you the relationship is over, listen, don't commit suicide. We're living in tumultuous times. You're going to see a lot of things, brothers and sisters, you Christians out there, that you literally have to put your seatbelts on and put your Vaseline on your face. And literally, sometimes you got to just pray and fast for real. You got to be in a position of success. You have to position yourself for success. The only way that you'll be successful is if you Follow the victory. Follow the leader. Follow the master. Follow the Prince of Peace. A lot of you out there are looking for peace. If I can only have peace in my household, if I can only have peace of mind, if I only can, listen, I got 30,000 or 60,000, hear me, thoughts that race through my mind every single day. And 99% of it is toxicity. Huh? How can I just get some peace, Lord? How? Well, one of the things that you need to do, listen, a lot of you out there, is change the channel. Oh, man. Did I say that? I said a lot of you out there need to change the channel. Change the channel of the people who you affiliate with. Change the channel of literally the TV channel, because a lot of stuff that you watching is satanic. Change the radio channel, A lot of things that you have in your ear gate and you bumping and thumping in your car is that of the devil, A lot of the food that you eating is satanic foods, You are what you eat. Oh yeah. A lot of people ain't getting a lot of rest and vitamins, and all of this stuff plays a part. I'm telling you, listen. It plays a part. Oh, yes, it does. A lot of you people have no prayer life, and it's showing, I said a lot of you people have no prayer life, and it's showing. And I'm not talking about gimme, to, rub the genie. I'm not talking about prayers like that. I'm talking about praying for other people. Once you get in a position to get the, emphasis on you and your situation and pray for others, your stuff is going to change around. Why? Because this is not about gimme. This is not about your, universe that revolves around you. There's a lot of people that are literally suffering out there. If you hadn't noticed, literally are suffering. Is your eyes fixed on the master and his plan for them? Or is it all on you and your little, universe? Is everything revolving around you? Fix me, Lord. Fix my finances, Lord. Fix my this, fix my cat, fix my dog. What about other people, Brothers and sisters, wake it up. Wakey, wakey. This is some sugar-free knowledge right here. Sugar-free. Brothers and sisters, we are coming to the future. Every day, closer and closer to the future. And in the Word of God, in the book of Revelation, not Revelations with an S, the book of Revelation, it talks about how people are going to either go left or go right. This is a straight and narrow path that a lot of people are not going to be willing to take. And that straight and narrow path means that your eyes is fixed on Christ and not of the world and not of your flesh and not what you want and not what you're trying to gain and not your come up, and not your flex and not your, everybody worship you and praise you and, because you got a little glow up and you got a little notoriety and a little title and a little money and a little this and that. No. It's not about you. And once you listen, don't you know that once you realize that it's not about you and you praise God and you worship God and you got God on your mind and you got God on your heart, once you put all of that emphasis instead of man, once you focus that emphasis on God, on the spiritual, your life is going to be better. Your life is going to turn around, because man will fail you, brethren. I don't care if they're in the pulpit. I don't care if they're in front of, politics and, this arena and that arena. I don't care if they're a teacher. I don't care if they're a governor. I don't care if they're your doctor, a dentist. Mankind is, listen. Tap, tap, tap on the microphone. Mankind is infected with a virus. Did you know that? Oh, man. I'm not talking about the bird flu. I'm not talking about Ebola. I'm not talking about AIDS. I'm talking about a virus more deadly, a zillion times more deadly than that. You know what that virus is that mankind is subsequently faced with? It's a 3-letter virus. Just 3 letters, 3 different letters. And it's called the SIN virus. Did you ever hear of the SIN virus, brothers and sisters? Look it up, look it up. It plagues nations, families, governments, countries. Everybody has this virus lingering in their members, and the only antidote against the SIN virus is Christ Jesus. And if you don't have Christ Jesus, if you don't have Jesus Christ as the antidote, then you're going to get sick and you're going to die. Oh, man. Huh? You didn't know about the SIN virus that's taking people and wiping people out? A lot of the graveyards are full of people who died in the sin virus. You heard me. They died in sin, brothers and sisters. And when you die in sin, your subsequent eternity is hell. There's no escaping in hell. There's no rewind the tapes. There's no do-overs, no this or that. It's your made up mind that when you take your last breath, and your last breath could be next Tuesday, huh? When you take your last breath, and when God stops your heart, when he takes your breath, when he decides, that's it. That's your end of the world. Oh, man. Talk about, I'm waiting for the end of the world, child, to get saved. I got time. You got time? You got time going to the strip clubs? You got time, right? You got time? You got time whoremongering. You got time molesting. You got time raping. You got time this and that. You got time doing all of this sinful stuff with your sin virus, walking around looking cute, having sick sin virus, right? You think you look cute. That's what it is that the sin virus is very subtle. Oh, man, I'm getting somewhere. It's been a while. I feel good. I feel like I can fight Mike Tyson right now, huh? That sin virus is very subtle because on the inside, you're sick. On the inside, you're all messed up. But on the outside, you looking fresh and so clean. Fresh and so clean. That's what you looking on the outside. But on the inside, oh, man, you all wrecked up and messed up. Why? Because you're not following God. And what happens is when you're so embedded with the sin virus, you don't care who you step on. You don't care who you cheat on. You don't care who you bulldoze. You don't care who you do witchcraft on. It's all about you, and you. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. That sin virus is insatiable. It's disrespectful. It's not considerable. Huh? It just wants what it wants. You ever got a plate of food, right? You know you stuffed. But the food tastes just so good and you just decide to get all you can eat. You want somebody else's plate, huh? You not only want your plate, you want another plate. You just want to eat, and eat. Why? Because you have that gluttonous affinity. And when you have that gluttonous, no holds bar bulldoze vacuum cleaner. I'm sucking up it all. I'm just bulldozing everything to get what you want. That's a sin sick soul headed to hell. Oh man, did I cover enough tonight? A lot of you really needed to hear this. Some of you are heartbroken because you realized that you got duped. You voted for this person. And remember, I didn't vote. I didn't vote. I didn't vote. I didn't vote. I don't vote. I don't vote anymore. But because I realized the game, the politics, I realized that it's like Jekyll and Hyde. You know what I mean? The Jekyll and Hyde thing. First you smile and then you frown. You know, the whole bit. So I don't get involved in it because I realize the real. And I realize that my vote needs to ultimately remain on Christ. I can't listen, let me get real deep. I've been married to my husband and I love my husband. Y'all know Mr. James Hicks. I love my husband, right? We've been through it all, ups, down, all around. And I realized that I can't even worship him. I can't even put him before God. I love him, but listen, he ain't getting before God. I don't love him more than God. I don't love my kids more than God. You got to be like that. You got to be a renegade. What? Your kids? That's right. I don't love my kids more than God. I told my son that the other day. I said, I love you, but I love God more, huh? You got to be like that. I like my job for the most part, but I don't love it more. You gotta really be sold out for Christ. I mean, for real, like next level, like out of this world. I want you to think about the thing that you really hold high in high regard, right? Whatever that thing is, your cat, your dog, whatever it is, your family, whatever it is. And I want you to examine the situation. And I want you to think about those three things that I told you about. Are you cheating on God because you have access? Are you cheating on God because you're just not really into him? And lastly, are you cheating on God, hear me, because you're demonically involved with the devil so much that you can't even see straight? Oh, man. Brothers and sisters, I pray that this video was very powerful. I believe it is. Rewind it, share it, really listen to it more than once, because I'm sure that you could get some goodies out of it. And when you live your life focused on Christ, full throttle, no chaser, then that's when your path will be made straight. Bless the true and living God.